So what's the issue? Setting arrangement. Almost 93% of secondary school classrooms in East Asia are using the traditional row or rice field seating arrangement. The feature of this kind of arrangement is that there is a front and back. In this arrangement, everybody is facing to the teacher, which means teacher is the center of the classroom. They are the main character. Students rely on them. From physical perspective, in front of the classroom, since students are near to the teacher, there is more chance to have the informal interaction with them. And for teacher, it is easier to see their feedback. In the left or right edge of the classroom, you cannot see very clear of the word on the board. In the rear of the classroom, far distant means you will hear less, see less compared to the front. And in this arrangement, whenever students sit, they can only see teacher's face and others' back of head, which means when you are in the last row, you may see others, but no one can see you. You are the outsider. Because of those differences, the seat can be seen as a resource. In China, one of the tasks of the head teacher is distributing this resource. And that means teachers have the power to shape the space based on their value. Usually, student test result ranking tables are public in class, and it is the most important fact of deciding where students should sit. The rule is that students who have the bad result usually sit in the edge of the classroom. So, change set can also be seen as reward and punishment. And for students have a good result in ranking, we usually call them
好生
which means good student. And students who have poor result in ranking, we usually call them
差生
which means bad student. Those names are based on a myth about the result of exam. That is, students who have good result is only because they work hard or they have talent. So based on this assumption, students who have poor result means they are lazy and stupid, which is individual factors. Labeling theory. Since your result decides where you sit, your set becomes a prop that can represent test the result. And that means in the space of the classroom, everybody have a clear label. And it can keep reminding the member in the class who is a deviant. For example, if a new teacher comes to this classroom, he will immediately see who is a good student, who is bad, who is working hard, who is lazy. If a student have been identified as a good or poor, the others' expectation of them will be different. For example, teacher in class usually ask good student the question with a challenge and may give more time and encouragement. But for student in the back, teacher will ask, do you got it? Do you understand? And may just give less time for them or even just ignore them. Those different interactions may be hurt and let students in the back believe themselves are bad. Actually, there's some people saying this arrangement is fair. By using thought experiment, veil of ignorance, it's easy to examine the morality of this system. That is, you make the rule, but you won't know what kind of student you will be in the classroom. The failure of this system is that before doing anything, we already said the student result is the most important standard. The idea of hidden curriculum can help us to find the behind value. That is, this kind of setting arrangement can teach students lessons, such as there is a winner and loser in this world. The winner takes all, weakness invites the worth.
The winner takes it all, the loser is standing small.
This kind of knowledge provides legitimacy to the rule. When students internalize this knowledge, their concern is not how to change the world, but how to obey the demand of the world. Then, in order to survive in this space, their strategy will be different, their action will be different, their whole lifestyle is different. The hidden value in here is utilitarianism. That means decisions should direct toward promoting the greatest happiness. In the case of setting, the setting should fit the maximum use of the resource to gain the best learning result of the whole class. Best set should give to students who are able to gain the best result. Bad students should not waste the good set. We can sacrifice the development possibility of the best student. This whole argument is very strong, but there is a problem. How can a head teacher to measure the general interest? Putting the test result above all other things is just subjective.
And this introduced another value, rationalization. That is, the student can be measured, we can use the number to replace themselves, the result from the exam. The questions are, can the exam score represent a real student's learning situation? Can a person be reduced to a bunch of numbers? When the measurement the exam result above all other things, the relationship between students and teachers becomes rational. The student is the tool to help teacher pass their assessment. The teacher is the means to achieve the high score in test for student.
From students' perspective, students who have bad results may face the crisis of self-identity, doubt their learning abilities, and feel awkward when they deal the relationship with teacher, as their poor result is contradicted with the teacher's interests. And because they are in the edge of the room, they may just be forgotten. For example, when they raising hand want to answer question, the teacher may not notice them. That is so embarrassing. And for other students, it's easier for them to compare with each other. In order to avoid punishment being moved to the edge, students have to keep their competitive edge. That means they need to spend more time and energy on the technique of exam. Everybody else in the classroom can be seen as an enemy, since the whole classroom is a zero-sum game. There is no real win-win situation. And it is also easier for them to insult the best student, such as you are lazy, you are stupid, and you're sad. It's a proof. My intersection is designing for learning, designing for awareness. I feel the shift of the perspective may bring the shift of the action. And my audience will be people involved in education industry. For example, the teacher and student, or even the parents of the student. I think if my response only talks about the bad result of what this setting arrangement can bring, may be so shallow that just inform audience but not question them. I want to put them in that space. Therefore, I'm thinking using the same logic, this issue, to build a stupid game with more ridiculous rules, as the audience explore the whole process of setting by themselves, which may help audience to rethink about the classroom.